You must have heard the news of Daniel Craig stepping down from his iconic role as James Bond, but that leaves us with the question, who will be next to play the role in the movies? In today's video, we'll talk all about it and look at some actors who we think might actually be landing the role. So keep watching if you'll want to find out more. First up, why did Daniel Craig step down from the role? After No Time to Die was released, the news of Daniel stepping down from the role also made rounds. Fans of the franchise were really sad about the news, and so were we. We had so many questions as to why something like this would happen, but don't worry, we'll explain all of this in this video. You might already know, but every actor that played the role of Mr. Bond left the role eventually. Either it was because they got too old for the role, or they feared that they'll get typecast. Regardless of this, playing the iconic role is such an honor for the actors who played it, and will continue to play it in the future. Sometimes they have to leave the role, and it's not even by their choice. Reasons like age are something you can't really argue with, right? To explain things further, we might have to spoil No Time to Die for you, so if you have not watched the movie yet, you have been warned. For those of you who have watched the movie, you would know that the death of Bond at the end of the movie is a pretty clear sign that Daniel won't be returning to play the role in future movies.
That has been one of the greatest honors of my life.
Next up, here's what Daniel said about leaving the role himself. Surprisingly, the actor thinks it was time for him to leave. He felt like Bond's story had been told already. He initially intended to leave the role a while ago, after Spectre, but back then, he felt like the story would have been left incomplete, and he had to return back one more time to wrap up the story of his Bond. While talking about it all back in December of 2019, Daniel mentioned how he always kind of knew where he wanted the storyline to go, and how he wanted it to end, and Spectre wasn't the ending of this story, but No Time to Die feels like a good ending, the way he wanted the ending to be. So that's why the 54-year-old thinks it's time he can leave the role and get on with his life. He continued talking about how they could have left it at Spectre, and everything would have gone on as normal, and fans would have been content with it too. But the English-American himself always felt in the back of his mind that something was not complete, and that he needed to go in one more time to wrap everything up, the way he did with No Time to Die. And honestly, we're so glad he did. Could you imagine not having this movie? God, neither can we.
Let's go home.
Following up, if Daniel is not playing Bond, who is? All of this news just leaves us all wondering the same question, and we wish we had a short answer for this. But once again, you'll have to hold on tight and keep on watching to find out your answers. We all know that this is not the end of Bond movies. They've been coming in for years, and they probably will keep coming for many years as long as fans keep hyping them up. And honestly, we have no complaints. We don't think we'll be getting bored of the action-packed movies anytime soon. But then again, if there's going to be more Bond movies, who's going to be the next James Bond? Playing the role is truly an honor. James Bond is one of the most iconic and widely recognizable characters we can think of. From his one-liner dialogues to his iconic look, we all know exactly who he is, even if you haven't watched the movie. This just proves how good playing the role would be for whichever actor is selected for it. Currently, we don't really have any names of who would be playing the role next. What we do have is fan theories and rumors, and as we all know, these rumors can be very accurate, so it would be smart to talk about them.
Who doesn't appreciate the occasional twist, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
Next up, Rege Page could be the next James Bond. Yeah, you heard that right. Our favorite Bridgerton hunk might be taking up the role of James Bond in the next movie. Page blew up in popularity after Bridgerton started to gain hype from Netflix, soon becoming a worldwide sensation. The show was, and still is, a huge hit. This meant great things for the cast as they also started getting more recognition. This included Page, and with the news of Daniel stepping down from the role of James Bond, fans thought that Page would be the perfect match to play the role. And honestly, we see how that would work out, seeing how amazing of an actor he is. You all saw his talent in our recent obsession, Bridgerton, right? With that said, we think he would do the role justice if he's chosen to be the new and improved 007. However, Page was not as confident in this as his fans were. He said he was very flattered to be a part of the conversation, and that people consider him worthy of such a major role, but it's nothing more than a merit badge. Despite him being a part of the conversation earlier, all of the Page talk went down the drain as soon as a DC actor came into the conversation. After that, everyone talked about this new actor and how he would be just perfect for the role. Die. Coming up next, who's the DC player people think might be the next Bond? Try taking a guess. Pause the video and comment who you think it'll be. We'll give you a little hint. He plays a role in The Witcher 2. Back yet? Okay, now we'll tell you who it is. Drum roll please. Henry Cavill. Cavill is most known for his role in DC movies as the iconic Superman, and now he's known for his role in The Witcher as Geralt of Rivia. He has also worked alongside Tom Cruise in the Mission Impossible franchise. All this just adds up to his ever-growing popularity, and now fans think that the actor would be just perfect for the role of Mr. Bond. What do you think? Do you think he could ace the role of Mr. Bond in future movies? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. He's been gaining a lot of popularity these days, especially with him being in the conversation for picking the new James Bond. A little birdie told us that all odds are in his favor, and things are looking great for him so far. As far as the new James Bond goes, Cavill might as well be taking the role after all, much to fans' pleasure. Honestly, we'd love to see him play the iconic role. Cavill auditioned for the role back in 2005, but couldn't get the part. But now, with all his popularity stacking up in recent years, and the odds looking more in his favor than ever, we think he might finally have this role in the bag, just how he wanted all those years ago in 2005.
The producers of Bond now say they're looking for an actor in their 30s. How old are you, Henry?
I am 39.
We did it! We're doing it!
Now, why was Sam Heughan rejected from playing the role? Sam Heughan had his career breakthrough when he acted in The Outlander. A lot of fans don't know this, but this wasn't how Sam had intended it to go. Although he's grateful for his opportunities, he wanted his breakthrough to be through a different role, one that is heavily sought out for. Yeah, you guessed it right. He wanted to play James Bond in the movies, but was rejected. That leaves us with the question of why he was rejected exactly. It's not like he's a bad actor or something, but then what? Well, Sam himself shed some light on the matter, and if we're being honest, his reasons sound kind of funny. Sam auditioned for the role in Casino Royale, but he didn't get the part, and Daniel ended up playing the role of James Bond in the movies that came after. While he was talking about the whole thing, he revealed how he felt when he found out that the role had gone to someone else. He said he tried to stay calm and tried to take the criticism positively. Heughan said he boiled all the criticism down to one thing, which was the reason he didn't get the role. The reason being that he just wasn't edgy enough by nature for the role. He mentioned how quick the audition was, and he thought that he might be caught in a car chase on his way back home as part of the audition. And finally, here's what else he said about his audition. While talking about the reason behind him not getting the role, Sam mentioned how it all somewhat confused him because he felt like the issue wasn't his character or the way he performed the role, but in his personality as a person. But he also mentioned how he didn't let all this trouble him since it was out of his hands. The Outlander star tried his best and did what he could to get the role, but at the end of the day, he couldn't make it. That's when he knew that it wasn't meant to be. He said the edge that the crew was looking for didn't really mean being a bad boy, but just meant having an aura of self-confidence that he admittedly lacked at the time he auditioned. Seeing how he wanted the role back then, he might be auditioning for the part again. And given his current popularity and success in his career, we think he might actually have a good enough chance at getting the role in the bag this time around. And with that, that's a wrap on today's video. Let us know who you think might be the next James Bond down in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more videos. With that said, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.